GM, everybody, welcome back to the channel. We've seen a big crash in the crypto markets over the last 24 hours. The majority of the damage has been done to altcoins. So we're going to jump straight in and do a bit of a damage report, find out where we are. Is now the time to be buying in? Should you be concerned? Are we going to go lower? I'm going to try and answer all those questions in this video. So, look, Bitcoin here, to be completely honest with you, there's not been a huge amount of change in Bitcoin. Bitcoin actually held up fairly well. Yes, it came back down and it tested this all-important level around 95,000 that we've spoken about many times. We've actually held above this ascending trend line, which is good. And actually, we've just come back in line with our path that obviously we've deviated from when we saw all of the volatility last Thursday, but we're actually holding very well. So I'm still expecting prices probably to mark up from here. Could we come down one final time and make another run down to around 95,000, maybe coming a little bit lower, flushing this level? Yes, we could. Could we retest this and fill in this wick? Absolutely, we could. But I think for now, let's see where things go from here. Certainly, if we can get back above 99,500, start closing candles back above this support resistance area here and regain this level, then I think Bitcoin is going to go very quickly up to new all-time highs in December. And to be honest, this has been my base case. I have been saying I think that Bitcoin will get above 100,000 in December. We've seen that happen already. I have said Bitcoin will stay above 87,000, and I don't think we'll see a sort of larger breakdown. That has also been true so far. And now the next thing I'm going to put my line on and say is that the low for December is most likely in here, and I think we will trade above the current December highs at some point over the remainder of the month. So let's see if I will be proven right or not on that. If we go to the other Bitcoin chart, we can see Bitcoin's held its 618 Fibonacci retracement. And look, I think obviously we're on the 4 hour here. Just a little bit of a word of warning. A lot of the times when we see this sort of price action, we can come down and we can see a retest. I'm trying to see if there's any examples of this recently. There's probably not, to be honest, as we've been going through obviously this sort of bullish phase, a new phase in the market, and this is, I'd say, the first real big capitulation event we had. Obviously, we had quite a big one on Bitcoin last Thursday. This one, the market makers really came for altcoins. And look, I think absolutely we could sort of chop a bit and consolidate. This horizontal green bar here, this is when we have the next bullish moon. So I have spoke about the significance of the moon phases when it comes to Bitcoin, and we can just kind of visualize that. Obviously, we had a bear moon. The last bullish moon really resulted in some nice upwards price action. It actually front run that. It was actually sort of marking up when we were still in the sort of bare moon phase, or the new moon phase, should we say. So yes, the full moon or bull moon is coming very soon, and it's only now, what is that, 15, so literally 5 days away. We also have FOMC tomorrow. So I think whilst all this is going on, I don't see, or I haven't seen anybody really talking about the fact that the FOMC could be a bullish event. Certainly, if Jerome Powell comes out and says they're going to be looking to add assets back onto the Federal Reserve balance sheet and the liquidity increasing. So I think things could go higher from here. I really do. I'm not too worried at the moment. Let's obviously see how things play out. I did add to some altcoin positions on this dip. I also took a little bit off after the bounce, just because, I've got to try and manage risk. But overall, I have increased my exposure, I'd say about by 20% on leverage on this dip. Spot, I haven't really touched. Spot, I'm in my positions. I'm holding those until much later on in the cycle. But yeah, Ethereum, Solana, some of the meme coins and altcoins I've mentioned in previous videos, I looked to add some leverage positions on. So interestingly, if we actually look at the liquidation heat map on Bitcoin, we can actually see that obviously this is going to give us the 24-hour view, but on the 24-hour view, we can really see that all of the liquidity now is above the price. So this, for me, is a bullish sign. Obviously, we've come down, we've wiped out liquidity below price, and it looks like we now might get a pump on and run some of those liquidations. If we just look at the 12-hour as well, because obviously the market started to move very fast, we can see there are some liquidations building up below, but certainly the vast majority over the last 12 and 24 hours are now above price. So look, I think we could easily pop back up to 99,000 here. Obviously, on the flip side, we could come back down and we could make that retest and sweep as low as around about sort of 95,000. So I think that will probably be the range of today between 95 and call it up to 1,000. Obviously, if we do push up, then the potential is there for us to regain $100,000. And I think following that, you'll really start to see risk coming back into the market. I think the next time we break above $100,000 and get a decent close above $100,000, there's a good chance that we do continue to run to the upside. And I think probably this shakeout might have made, well, it flushed out a lot of the traders that were leveraged long, but it also probably will result in people getting a bit more bearish. I think the fear and greed index has also cooled quite a lot. We'll find out later today. That's something I'll touch upon on tomorrow's video, but I'll be interested to see what sentiment is like. But not only is it a market reset in terms of the funding rates, but it's also a reset in terms of sentiment, which is good as well, because if people are too bullish, then obviously that's when we have the risk of a deeper correction. And we can see that on the funding rate heat map, funding has completely reset now. So this is a really healthy sign for the market. We're literally back to, funding rates we haven't seen in well over a month, back to when we were at far, far lower prices, sort of pre-November. So that's really good to see. So there are things here that are obviously leading me to be optimistic, be quite bullish on the chance of a decent recovery and a decent bounce here. And let's just take the moon phases back off. And yeah, in terms of upside, I think it's going to be really important if we just flip back onto this chart that has our path. It's going to be really important for us to get above 99,500. If we do start to regain this level, close above, keep it, holding it as support and push on, then yeah, I can't see how Bitcoin doesn't go to new all-time highs over probably the next week. And like I say, hopefully we keep on following this magic path here. So let's see how things play out over the next few days on Bitcoin. Obviously, Ethereum got hit pretty hard. So Ethereum came all the way down here, tagging its 0.5 from its sort of previous expansion move, which is a retracement I like to see. So I have started to add and build another Ethereum long position here. Obviously, we want to get back above this 3,850 level, call it, this descending trend line. If we just go onto a daily, we can see it's going to be important for us to regain that level so we can continue with that breakout for Ethereum up to much higher prices. So right now, this type of rejection is a bit of a concern, but like I say, Ethereum will probably follow what Bitcoin does here. And like I said, Bitcoin can get back above 99,500, 100,000, then I expect Ethereum to get back above this descending trend line and probably have another go at the highs just above $4,000. And then from there, like I said, Bitcoin does hit new all-time highs. I'll be expecting Ethereum most definitely to follow up to around that $5,000 level and towards its all-time highs. Solana has still been comparatively weak, so we can see Solana is currently just below its recent trading range when it comes to price. Obviously, Ethereum is well in the center of it. So Solana's shown some relative weakness, and I mean it's to be expected. Solana really has put on an impressive move. It virtually has led the market throughout long phases of this bull market. So I think it's natural for Solana to see some consolidation and to see prices cool a bit. If we just look at where Solana currently is hit in terms of a pullback, we can see it's down about 22%. So do we go down a little bit further? Could we come down to this sort of descending trend line that we broke through around about 192? I think that's a possibility if Bitcoin goes for a retest of the current low from yesterday, then I do think that Solana could come down into the 190s. That being said, obviously, if Bitcoin can turn around, make its way back above 100,000, I think Solana will recover very quickly. And again, I'm still expecting Solana to break out around the same time that Bitcoin and Ethereum do. But certainly Bitcoin and Ethereum are looking relatively strong at the moment compared to Solana. And looking at Pepe here, so Pepe is a little bit of a strange one because actually yesterday we didn't really see much of a dump. Pepe held up very well. Actually, the dump came in the early hours of this morning, and Pepe is starting to recover above its prior consolidation at all-time highs. So this is healthy price action for Pepe. Pepe is certainly one of the stronger assets around right now. If we just look at Total 3, obviously Total 3 is the market cap of all altcoins, so this excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum. We can see that Total 3 has actually come down and it's sort of retested this price swing high here. So we would want to see Total 3 keep on holding. It's a big round number. It's the 1 trillion market cap number. And obviously from there, we'll be looking for expansion in Total 3 up to higher prices. Obviously, it came and it retested the previous all-time high. So quite a significant area for Total 3 there. And that clearly, obviously, explains why we've seen some weakness coming into the market. Obviously, after hitting quite a key level, you'd expect to see some volatility, some sideways chop, and then after that level breaks, we can probably make our way up to around about 1.3 trillion. If I just do a Fibonacci here for the entire bull market to bear market low, that seems to be around about right. Then we can see we've got some confluence with the 1.618 from the bull market to bear market high to low, and also from our summer consolidation coming in at around about sort of 1.63 to 1.65. So look, that would be a decent expansion from where we currently are, and that would really send the alts if we were to get there over the next month or two. And I think that move is definitely on the cards for Total 3. So I think going forward, we will keep an eye on this market just to give us a good idea of what the altcoins are up to. Moving on to the dollar, we can see the dollar still consolidating, looking sort of fairly healthy where it is right now. I don't really have any major view on where the dollar goes from here. I think it'll be waiting for some direction from the Federal Reserve tomorrow. The Nasdaq, bit of a pullback yesterday, but grinding up a bit again today. The S&P pretty much flat today, obviously a bit of a pullback. So I think things will probably consolidate now over the next couple of days, waiting for FOMC tomorrow afternoon. And then from there, we should get probably a bit more direction, whether that be a sort of move up or more of a move lower first before potentially a move up after that. But look, I mean, just to summarize, I'm still bullish here. Nothing has really changed. We are still following our path for December. So there's nothing to be too alarmed about. Obviously, moves like this, when volatility spikes like it has done, can be very nervy, can be concerning. But look, you've just got to take a deep breath and keep a cool head. And yes, for me, and unless this ascending trend line convincingly breaks and we start to break the mid-range at 95,000, at that point, I will be targeting moves down to the low 90,000s, and potentially we do sort of sweep some of these lows and come back down to the levels I was talking about in the high 80s, around 87, 88,000. But look, I think until we lose the support here, we just have to sort of play the probabilities. Right now, the path of least resistance is still higher, whilst we're still putting in overall higher lows on these charts. So, yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much for watching. Obviously, if you are on leverage, stay safe, happy trading, and I will talk to you all again very soon. GM.